the spaces between us. I miss him. I imagine he misses me even more. It'll be years until I hear back, and years until he hears me, and I'll be listening to a recording that's already years old. He's living on Earth, probably feeling the weight of my absence. I keep myself grounded with numbers. I send him how long he'll have to wait with each message. You'll hear from me again in 6 years. I love him. When I left, we were both 26. It felt surreal, like winning a lottery. To a distant moon. He never truly grasped why I had to go, no matter how many charts and graphs I showed him, or how I illustrated the possibilities of what lay ahead. This is Butler, I said, and this is Butler's moon, Lilith. There's evidence of life there. I explained the detailed calculations regarding oxygen levels, plant growth, and microbial life, even before I thought I might actually get selected. He never really supported the idea. He thought I wouldn't be chosen. He let me sign up because he figured I'd never make the cut. I intended to stay put. With those odds, busy with logistics and numbers at the shop, we had a routine that felt right. I can still hear his voice on the worn-out computer at the front desk. Can you solve this problem for me? His laughter, bright as ever. You're the one with the way with numbers. Even when I filled out the application, even during the training, I never believed I'd be the one chosen. If I had a talent for numbers, he had a talent for understanding people. He always knew about fair trade, workers' rights, and the ethics behind the brands we carried. He managed all our purchases and marketing while I spent my time arranging and dreaming. Maybe he thought I didn't enjoy it. I loved it. A shop and a turtle and a boy with kind eyes who always took the time to notice the small things. I didn't run away, I was moving forward. Space, and the concept of time. So, you'll be younger than me? He mused one day, and I replied, sort of. And he waited while I explained special relativity, with charts that tried to represent our different realities. I watched as he struggled to comprehend. I understood the formulas and the data, but not the emotional toll of distance. What it would feel like to be so far apart. I told him, for you, when it's been 5 years, I'll be 4 years older than I was when I left. And he said okay, with a furrowed brow. I continued, but for me, when it's been 4 years, you'll only be 3 years older than when I left. It took him a moment to process. So which one is true? He replied. I said, both. Neither. I explained how we would perceive each other's timelines, how everything would seem to shift, and the delays in our messages would create further gaps. I remember his puzzled expression. How does it look like I'm traveling away from you? I'm not going anywhere. I could hear it in his voice. I'm not the one departing. I was relieved when he didn't voice what he was thinking. I encouraged him, we're moving through the universe right now. We might feel stationary, but we're always in motion. He looked up from his favorite chair and said, okay, then let's explore together. And I did. He knew he couldn't keep me here. Nobody could, not my family with their old traditions, and especially not the ones who wanted me to stay put. I was meant for more than that. We often argued about the future of our planet. You can't just abandon it, he would say. You'll build a new life up there? We need your help more than ever to fix things here. Maybe he was right, probably he was right. I would sneak up behind him while he was focused, teasing, you're creating art right now? What about here? When the trash piled up or it was time to feed our turtle. Tickling him until he squirmed in laughter. Where are you going to vanish off to? Before I left, I set a rule, don't debate with me, I don't have time for that while I'm in space. I can't think about fighting you when I can't even reach out and touch you. I told him, and up to now, he hasn't brought it up. It feels surreal. You're just a pawn, he said at one point. Another piece in the grand scheme of things. Like we haven't learned anything since the last space race. He shook his head while cleaning his paintbrush. I quipped back, how does it feel to subscribe to a system that limits us? He laughed, as he often did, but in a way that said I had a point but hadn't hit the mark. I offered help with his artistic endeavors, but he refused, claiming I only complicated things. So I teased him about being a perfectionist. Does he still remember my face? The features he said he loved, the little quirks that made me who I am. When I buzzed my hair short, I wanted him to picture me just right. It took him a while to get the update, and every day I think about how he's visualizing a version of me that no longer exists. I want to remember him well, his contagious smile, thoughtful eyes, the way he made the smallest details beautiful. It's not just my body changing, it's my mind adapting to the vastness of space. I picture him immersed in daily life, immersed in problems on Earth that I can no longer fathom. I wonder how he'll adjust if I return. I told him that if he finds someone new, I would understand, but his response was loaded with unspoken emotions. Nightmares sometimes plague me, fear that they'll cancel the program. I wake up in a panic, drenched in sweat, realizing the dark outside isn't deep enough to cradle me back to sleep. I envision it, we can't afford to bring you back. I grasp the logistics better than the reasons for sending me up in the first place. Each time I send a message, I hesitate, wishing I could take it all back. I wanted adventure but never meant to leave him behind. Don't you see? I want it all. I want the moon, and I want you by my side when I arrive back home. I'm not afraid of the unknown, but I've grown accustomed to living with its weight. I would understand if everything changes. It's been long enough to expect that. I draft countless messages, hoping to ease his mind, hoping to distract myself, too. I don't want to think about returning and seeing a different him. I don't want to think about the possibility of never returning. I imagine interviews, the questions they'll ask me. Do we claim this moon? What does it mean for our future? Will we attempt to build a new home? Sure, I'll say. For me and my partner. We'll carve out our space in the soil and embrace our new life, our dreams intertwining. We'll bring our turtle, fill our home with laughter and creativity, and tackle every challenge that comes our way. I can see us gathering supplies, charting new paths, reconnecting through the ages. This moon will be ours, our sanctuary, our legacy. Together, just the two of us. For me and my partner. As my time in space stretches into months and then years, the vastness begins to feel less isolating. I connect with the stars more deeply than I could have anticipated, their brilliance reminding me of him, each one a flicker of memory, a whisper of laughter carried through the cosmos. But still, the Earth tugs at my heartstrings, the weight of his absence pulling me back toward that small blue planet. I maintain my routine, filling each day with calculations, experiments, and observations, my mind a flurry of numbers. I push myself to excel, to make every moment count. With each successful test of equipment designed for Lilith, I pry open a sliver of hope, knowing that my work could one day pave the way for life on the moon. But no success could drown out the looming silence of our communications. I wonder endlessly what he's doing. Is he still at the shop, creating beautiful displays and organizing promotional campaigns? Has he found ways to infuse our old space with his touch? I wonder if James, our turtle, still recognizes the sound of his voice. One night, peering out into the universe from my small viewing window, I compose an email to him. I begin with the same familiar line, "I miss you," letting the words hold a weight that transcends distance. I recount my findings, the oddities and wonders I encounter up here. I share my dreams for our future, the life I envision for us on Lilith, creating vibrant gardens and sustainable habitats where creativity and resilience flourish. I type out how I want him to imagine it, a patchwork of colors and textures, something vibrant and alive. I describe how I see him painting, surrounded by a landscape he shaped, turning our new world into a canvas of possibility. There's life here, just waiting for us to nurture it, I write, hoping to ignite a spark of excitement even across the years separating us. Eventually, I hit send, staring out into the inky blackness, where endless stars twinkle as if they are confirming my hopes for our shared future. I can almost envision him reading it, his face lighting up in that way I remember so vividly, a blend of curiosity and admiration. Weeks pass, filled with research and markers of time measured in days and years. The number of my future messages calculated against his past. And then, finally, a reply flashes on my screen, and my heart races. 6 years, right, he writes, reminding me of our numbers game. You exaggerated the time, you know. I won't be that old. I'm still just 3 years older than you at this point. His voice reaches through the void, teasing and light, just like I remember. I chuckle, feeling warmth seep through the chill of space loneliness. He continues, sharing snippets of his life, how he found new ways to brighten the shop, the new organizational strategies that left him frustrated yet fulfilled. He talks about the community workshops he's been involved in, how he started teaching kids about art and responsibility. The words tumble across the screen, pulling me into his world. "But this place isn't the same without you," he writes. "I keep waiting for the day you come back, and we can finally argue about how you're going to help me fix the community mural we started." Reading those words, I feel a wave crashing over me, a mix of nostalgia and a longing sharper than ever. He misses me. The realization is both a balm and a razor, the distance aches like an unhealed wound. "I want to come home," I type back fervently. "I want to argue about murals and feed James together. I want to breathe the same air again." And as the responses bounce back and forth, we revive the intimacy that space couldn't extinguish. Our conversations oscillate between dreams of the future and memories of our past, every letter wrapped in the essence of our connection. We share playful jabs, touching reminiscences, and deep-rooted fears. Each message reinforces the bond we forged before my departure. It incubates the love that, despite the vast distance, has only grown more complex and profound. Months later, as I conduct a critical experiment involving soil samples from Lilith, I receive another message from him, a photo attached. It's a picture of our shop, bright and colorful, adorned with artwork created by the kids he's mentored. Their little hands created a mural of stars, planets, and whimsical creatures, each brushstroke infused with imagination. I can almost hear his laughter echoing through the shop as I smile at the sight. Beneath the photo, he writes, "One day you'll bring your own stars here. I can't wait to see how you will paint the universe again." His words instill me with hope, they light a fire within me. I feel rejuvenated, my commitment to my mission on Lilith deepening. I'm not simply striving for myself or for humanity's sake alone, I'm also reaching for a shared future, one where we can cultivate the sparks of life on a new planet together. Then one day, during my routine checks, I come across information about potential breakthroughs in transportation technology, a project that promises to enhance space travel timelines significantly. My mind races with possibilities. What if I could get back sooner than expected? What if I could bring him to Lilith, show him the wonders I've discovered, and plant our dreams side by side? I gather all the data I can find, cross-reference studies, assess implications. I write to him, sharing every detail, every hope. I'm keeping my eyes on the horizon, I inform him, eager to bring both you and our dreams to the stars. Let's occupy both worlds together. In his next response, the excitement jumps off the screen. "If anyone can make it happen, it's you. We can build our life together, explore the universe as explorers, and create something extraordinary on Lilith." And just like that, two hearts beat as one, separated by the void but together in spirit. I feel the beginning of a plan taking shape, an expedition not just to a moon but into our shared future, where laughter replaces silence and love bridges the expanse. Months turn into a year, and while I'm still light years away, the countdown feels less daunting when I imagine his smiling face waiting for me. I can envision it clearly, the day I finally step off the shuttle and see him there, ready to embark on our next adventure together. With renewed purpose, I continue my work on Lilith, preparing for our new life. I write in my journal, documenting hopes and dreams through metaphors of the stars, the path before us as bright as the constellations drawing us together. And so, even as I navigate the inky sea of space, I hear him whisper through my memories, "You are never alone." I carry that echo within me, guiding me toward the day our worlds will finally collide once more, a day shimmering on the distant horizon, forever our moon amidst the stars. The months roll by, an amalgamation of starlight and yearning, as I work tirelessly to prepare for the day I can finally return home. Each day brings spectacular findings and new challenges on Lilith, but the aching absence of his presence lingers like an ever-present star in the night sky. Finally, after a relentless series of calculations, I discover the breakthrough I've been hoping for, a new propulsion technology that could drastically reduce travel time between planets. My heart races as I formally present the data to Mission Control. They're skeptical at first, after all, space travel has always been fraught with limitations. But as I outline the potential for expedited travel back to Earth, they begin to lean in, intrigued. The approval takes only a few weeks, but it feels like an eternity. When my superiors finally sign off on the plan, I can barely contain my excitement. I rush to my console, pouring my heart into an email to him. It's happening. I write, fingers dancing over the keys. I'll be home sooner than we thought. We can finally build our life together. His response is instantaneous, a flurry of exclamation points and joyful sentiment. When? How soon? Are you serious? As we exchange messages, painting a picture of our shared future, I realize how much I've missed our banter. I recount our inside jokes, weaving every word with love and anticipation. We make plans, frantic but hopeful, well aware of the reality that we have to face when I return. Everything may have changed, but at least we will be together. As lunch day approaches, the atmosphere aboard the spacecraft becomes charged with excitement and nervous energy. The crew is buzzing, and I can hardly sit still, envisioning the moment I will step back onto Earth. Every day on the mission, I check in with him, sharing every detail of my journey, intertwined with our plans and memories. Then, finally, the day arrives. The engines roar to life, and I fasten my seatbelt, adrenaline pulsing through my veins. I take one last look at the desolate beauty of Lilith through the viewport, a bittersweet farewell to the place that has taught me so much. Ready to go home, one of my fellow astronauts asks, a grin on his face. More than anything, I reply, my resolve unwavering. As the shuttle takes off, I feel the weight of my longing lifting, replaced by hope and determination. The journey is a blur of stars and calculations, but all I can think about is him, the way his laughter dances through my mind, the warmth of his smile, and the promise of our reunion. The spacecraft finally crests Earth's atmosphere, and as we break through the clouds, my heart races. I can't take my eyes off the familiar landscape below, the contours of the land seeming to pulse with life, every detail tinged with memories of us. When we land, the anticipation builds, excitement and apprehension weaving together in a fragile tapestry of possibility. I disembark as the hatch opens, and the fresh air washes over me like a long-lost embrace. The ground feels solid beneath my feet, and every step brings me closer to home. Then I see him, waiting by the landing zone, his eyes wide and shimmering as he spots me. He is exactly the way I remembered, how could I have ever doubted? He rushes forward, and time seems to suspend as I close the distance between us. I can see a million questions in his gaze, but all I do is encapsulate him in my arms, pulling him close. I'm home, I breathe, savoring the reality of his warmth surrounding me, the familiar scent flooding my senses, reminding me of all the reasons I left but also all the reasons I could never really be far. I thought I might have to come get you myself, he teases, but the joy in his voice erases any hint of concern. I missed you. I missed you too, I reply, pulling back to look into his eyes. More than I can explain. As we stand on the tarmac with the world bustling around us, I realize that the stars may have faded from view, but my universe is here, grounded in this moment with him. We have so much to catch up on, he grins, brushing back a stray lock of hair from my face, and I see the hopeful glimmer reflecting in his eyes, our dreams now within reach. I've got plans, I tell him, excitement bubbling in my chest. And I want you to help me build our new world, a life together on Lilith. His expression lights up, and as he takes my hand, I feel our individual dreams weaving together into something grander, a tapestry of love and shared purpose. Let's explore the possibilities, he says earnestly, just like we always dreamed. With our fingers intertwined, we tuck away the experiences we've both had, his adventures on Earth and my time among the stars. They will always be a part of us, shaping who we are. Together, we'll look forward, creating a life that reflects our aspirations and love for each other. As I see the world through his eyes, I know that our journey has only just begun. We will harness the lessons learned, balance the old with the new, and explore every inch of our universe together. With hope and ambition, we are ready to step into this new chapter as scientists, as dreamers, but most importantly, as partners united by a bond that has only grown stronger. Hand in hand, we begin our ascent, eyes turned toward the horizon, ready to embrace whatever adventures await us, knowing that together, we can reach any star.